Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Taff from GeekAfrique, and today I'm gonna be looking into a pretty awesome new free-to-play I just discovered. Now, we all know that because of the coronavirus pandemic and all recent upturns in life, the pockets have been a bit tight. So every time we get a really quality free-to-play, something that's really entertaining, something that's, really engaging, it's always awesome. So join me today as I talk about the fun I've been having with Dauntless. So Dauntless is a free-to-play game that was developed by Phoenix Labs. I do remember some time ago them announcing the beta. I think it was back in 2019. I'll be honest, I haven't really done any proper research yet. I'm more talking off script, offhand in terms of discussing this, but I figured I just wanted to give like a natural reaction rather than sit down and just, bring out all the classic facts. What I found compelling about this game is that it's just so much fun. It's such an epic experience. In all fairness, it's surprisingly more entertaining than I expected it to be. And not to say that I walked in with any sort of negative attitude. Obviously, a friend of mine has been playing this himself for a little bit longer than me. I think he got the game about a week or two prior, so he has had an advantage as usual. And when he introduced it to me, I thought to myself, okay, this works for me. The aesthetic's awesome. It's so easy on the eye. It's just so much fun going out and gathering the necessary resources. Now, I will be the first to tell you that it is pure grind, 100%. And obviously it is riddled with microtransactions in terms of trying to get you to purchase the pass and obviously just sort of buy your way through. But if you do decide to just stick with it and decide to just go out and do things normally, you can actually achieve quite a lot and upgrade quite a bit. So far I've probably put in maybe just about 10 hours, I would assume. I haven't really checked the clock in terms of the hour count, but I think it's somewhere closing in on maybe about 10 hours of gameplay, and it has been really, really stupendous. I have enjoyed it, and obviously it's very, very recommended to play this with a friend. Makes it that much more enjoyable. On a personal note though, my one and only gripe I would say is that I've just been having so many problems with connectivity, and though that is probably more linked to my internet obviously not being the greatest as well, I've also just found that maybe the servers as well could just use a bit of work. But it being an Epic game store property, I am under the impression that it's obviously getting as much support as it needs. One thing that also I enjoy is just the fact that it's completely cross-play. Everybody from PC to Nintendo Switch to PlayStation to Xbox all end up in the same session, and it does show you that you're teaming up with all these other devices, which is just really fun and just makes it so much better, knowing that you can play with anybody on any device. So all they need to do is basically just have a stable internet connection, go on and download Dauntless. And based on the graphic intensity of the game, I would say it's probably one of the more calm games to play, which is nice. So you could probably play it on far lower end devices. Maybe laptops with basic 2 gig graphics cards would probably be able to handle this fine. So I really do recommend it for anybody, especially if you're a fan of Monste Hunter World. So if you do like a Fortnite aesthetic and you do enjoy the Monste Hunter World gameplay loop of going out, gathering resources, fighting against monsters, grinding it out as huge groups, working together, reviving each other, doing everything that you can in order to, make sure you defeat the monster, then you really will appreciate this. Also, another thing I want to note, the monster design I think is pretty awesome. They are fairly limited right now. That's why I do feel like the game could use a bit more support in regards to maybe adding a few more monster types and maybe a few more element types. But overall, in the loop that I have managed to enjoy so far, the number of hours I've plugged in such a short time, I've just found it compelling, and it seems like a game I'm ready to stick with for a while, see how far we can take this journey. So yeah, this is why I am just such a huge fan. it's just, it's perfect. It's awesome. It's just brilliant, I mean, yes, okay, perfect is an exaggeration. There's no such thing as a perfect video game. But this is really great. I think this game has so much potential, and this is something I want to stick with for a while, and I'm really hoping it gets serious support. And if done well, it could be as amazing as Warframe, and nowhere near as complicated, which is just another awesome part about the game. It's got such a brilliant ease of access for anyone getting in. I mean, I think the most complex thing is more matching your elements to your monsters, but it's very straightforward. Obviously, if you've got an ice monster, you should bring fire weapons. If dealing with monsters who deal with electricity, you should bring stone. If dealing with monsters who deal with obviously like earth-based elements, you come in with lightning. Just basically looking for like the standard weaknesses, and the game does direct it to you. Overall, it does get a bit more complex with the cosmic monsters, but honestly, I think it's just because I haven't taken down enough to figure out their exact weaknesses. But once I know them, the rest of the game should become quite a cakewalk. Also, just the action is just fluid, really, really beautiful. When the game is in full flow, it's just amazing. Like, it really does feel like something that's worth your time, like a real sort of action adventure, because the monsters move in such a dynamic way, and they're just so aggressive, yet so much fun to take on. Like, it's really been quite an awesome thing, It's got such brilliant ease of access, yet complex enough to keep players who want to achieve the highest heights interested for a fair amount of time. I do believe it does obviously going to need a little bit more in terms of progression, maybe add a bit more of a bit of depth if they could in the story, sort of like what Warframe did, slowly integrate like a story. But I understand that these games are long-term projects, and at the end of the day, it's probably going to get support for years. And I really hope it does, and I hope more people grow to love it, and more people grow to want to play, and more people want to grow to want to join in, because the Monste Hunter's model has always been quite a loved one. I mean, they have an incredible number of games out, and people have always enjoyed these types. And to have one designed in such a way that it's just so entertaining for people of arguably all ages, I think that makes this a winner. So in terms of my free-to-plays for the year, I definitely strongly recommend Dauntless. It's been your boy Taff from GeekAfrique. Thanks for joining in on this one. Special shout out to all my new subscribers. It's been really awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm really enjoying the support, and I'm really hoping to get onto a far more consistent schedule this year. At least I finally have all my equipment in line. It all seems to be behaving correctly, so I should be able to make things happen. All right, guys, have a good one. Peace.